Have you ever caught a fish? I want to tell you a story about a day I tried to catch a fish. I was a very lucky girl. I grew up in a small mountain town in California, and I had 3 sisters and 1 brother. We had neighbors that had 6 children, so between my house and our neighbor's house there were 11 kids. There was always somebody to play with, and we loved to play outside all summer long. Besides all the kids in the neighborhood, we also had 2 donkeys, a goat, and a couple of dogs. But best of all, we had a creek that ran right behind our back door. We could walk out the door and step into the creek in a couple of minutes. It wasn't too deep and it wasn't too swift, so it was perfect for our play. On the bottom of the creek there was shiny fool's gold that sparkled in the sunshine. We loved to pretend that it was real gold, and we would get rich if we could just collect enough of it. One day, my sister and brother and I, we were playing by the creek, and we saw a truck drive up in front of our house. We ran to see who could it be. It was a green truck that had a big sign on the door that said California Department of Fish and Wildlife. The truck had kind of something special on the back. It was a big tank that held fish. And we found out that the man driving the truck was bringing fish to plant in our creek. Did you know you can plant fish? No, you don't plant fish in the water, but instead when you add fish to a creek, it's called planting. And he chose our creek to plant fish. We saw him go back to his truck and bring 2 big buckets filled with fish. The buckets almost seemed to be alive with the flipping and flashing and splashing fish inside those buckets. When he got to the edge of the creek, he tipped up the bucket and poured the fish right into the water. Those fish looked so happy to get out of the bucket, they swam all around our creek. We had some shady places, some places in the sun, some rocky places. The fish seemed to be exploring it all. Well, the man in the green truck went and got 2 more buckets of fish and poured those into our creek, and then he told us goodbye. Well, my brother and sister and I, we thought this calls for a plan. Fresh fish in our creek. We decided we wanted to catch one. 2 of our neighbor boys, Mitchell and Matt, had wandered over to our yard, and they said they wanted to help us catch the fish too. So we were already barefoot. We were most of the summer, so we just splashed right into the creek and started chasing the fish. We could still see lots of fish swimming around, and we tried to grab them with our bare hands. We would reach down into the water, and it looked like we were just going to catch them, and quickly they would swim away. Sometimes we would brush their smooth, slippery tail as they escaped from us. So we knew we had a problem. We needed another plan. So we decided that we needed a way to catch those fish. And Mitchell remembered he'd seen a hook at his home. So he said, I'm going to go get the hook. He rushed home and picked up the hook, tied it to a string. My brother David tied the string to a stick, and suddenly we had our very own fishing pole. Then we realized we had another problem. We didn't have any bait. We knew that fish like to eat bait. So I ran into the house, looked in the kitchen, opened the refrigerator, and saw a golden hunk of cheese. I thought fish must love cheese. So I grabbed the cheese and ran back outside. Mitchell smushed the cheese up and made it fit onto a hook. And then David took our fishing pole and let it dip down into the water so he could try to catch a fish. But guess what? The fish did not like our cheese. So Mitchell said, let me try. And he took the fishing pole and went to the other side of the creek and dipped it down into the water. Still not one fish came for the cheese. All of us wanted a turn, so we all tried. Over and over again. We spent the whole afternoon trying to catch a fish. But in the end, we had to admit that those fish did not want our cheese. So We thought we would have an easy time catching a fish, but we didn't. Instead, we had a wonderful afternoon playing together and trying to be fishermen. Well, better luck next time. Maybe next time we'll have the kind of bait they want.